Every era has its signal, a force that cuts through noise and shapes what comes next. It was invention. Then it was scale. Now it's taste. Hi, I'm Matt, and welcome back to Prime Pivot. So the first 10 videos I made are foundational videos. I haven't tried to promote this channel at all. I'm just kind of working through ideas live. But the things I have learned has kind of changed my perspective, especially over the last couple months. The deeper I go, I definitely see things differently. And, whatever you think about AI, the opportunities to improve your life dramatically, there's never been a time like this in history. Most people are looking at this, have a vague idea of what an abundant world looks like with AI, but they're still looking at it through the lens of scarcity that all of us have grown up with. As Peter Diamandis says, and I said this before, and I really believe this now, the deeper I've gone, AI is not going to take your job. AI is going to let you do any job. Of course, it's not going to land on your lap. Nothing does, right? So with that in mind, I'm going to use this channel moving forward to go deep into areas of taste that I have never really actively chased down in my life. I've been a writer for most of my life. At first, in college, I wrote novels, manuscripts for novels, all of them horrible, by the way. And then later screenplays. And I've finished at the very top in areas, the top range in areas like the Nickel Fellowship, and have won other screenwriting, big screenwriting contests outright, one in particular. But I never really chased it down as a career like a lot of people did. That sort of like that walled world of subjectivity, it always sounded better as an idea than it did as something I wanted to move forward on. I mean, basically as a writer, what I learned is I, would have opportunities to talk to managers and et cetera, literary managers, is that it didn't feel like you really had any power. And I like to know kind of what I can produce, what I can do, and have some level of control over it. And I just never really felt that way. And I was just frankly concerned about making money and leaving a job where I had a good income. So I worked as a recruiter, which was, a good living, less fulfilling, but, probably in my mind better than having to, back then at least, work at Starbucks, serving cold brews until I got my big break. So here we are, years later, lots of years later, in my case, and AI video technology changes all of that. I've launched just a starter website to get things rolling on a second business focused on building AI commercials for brands. I think I'm going to try to focus on challenger brands to start with, where there's really a lot of value for companies willing to take some risks. And yeah, I still have my AI automation agency, and it is scaling, thanks in large part to the agentic workflows I've implemented over the last couple months. It's just requiring less and less of my time, so I can focus on this for a better portion of the day. But back to the point, the shift here, what's really important to understand is this whole shift isn't about tools. What it's really about is what happens once everybody has them. So what I hope to do with this channel is just really go deep into my own journey, creating AI commercials and whatever comes after that. Talk about film, talk about kind of also job shifts, and kind of like understanding what taste is across the board, because I think that's going to be something that becomes very nuanced when we have abundance in everywhere in our lives. So that the concept of taste and what that actually means in various levels is going to change quite a bit and become more nuanced. So, but with the commercials, yeah, I don't really want to talk about tools. I want to talk about things like compressed narrative, emotional fidelity, how I'm creating my videos, the writing, because I really think really strong writers are going to have a massive edge in this space when the tools are basically everywhere. Instead of tools, I want to talk about, we talk about tools, but so many people are so focused on that. I want to talk about what really matters, what's really going to separate quality high-level content, AI-generated content in terms of the writing. Things like the writer's voice, conceptualizing ideas and stories and just creating, the thing that is truly scarce, and that's good writing. Right now, we're standing on the edge of a massive cultural inversion that's about to happen. The history of media, it hasn't been shaped by what the market wanted. It's been shaped by what the machine allowed. I have a theory that most of us have a part of our jobs or ourselves that we loved before it got buried by everything else. We gave it up because the world made it impractical or the gatekeepers made it inaccessible. But the gates are gone now. The tools are in our hands. The only thing that'll ever truly separate what's forgettable from what endures is taste. And what is taste? Taste is just earned judgment. But in a world of creativity, the need to rise above, it's even higher. When most people hear the term taste, they think, oh, this person has great taste or great style or whatever the case is. But it actually goes way deeper than that. Taste is it's a disciplined no. It is the invisible architecture that gives meaning to a yes. Moving forward, we'll need talents so scarce, so deeply human that the machines just can't compete. So that's all for today. Until next time, here is to owning your own path, and I will see you soon.